This presentation will be outlining an intervention plan named the Ethical Network. This intervention is designed to modify the current behavior of purchasing animal products that have been mass-produced, and also to promote smaller, local, and ethical farms that are better for the environment, economy, and of course the animals. But more on that later. We will cover previous research and contributing factors to what is known as factory farming, and also identify the ideal target group for this intervention. Product, price, place, and promotion strategies will be covered when we outline the prevention plan, aims, and potential partners. We will also discuss the creative strategy and media planning as well as our evaluation strategies. Ethical considerations and unintended consequences have also been taken into consideration, so we will cover that a little later. Alright, let's get into it. To start off, let me educate you on the issue. Factory farming is a large industrialized operation designed to maximize efficiency in the production of animal products. Economically, factory farming is the epitome of success. It has been tailored to maximize profitability and efficiency, with little hands-on activity. Automated processes can take care of the majority of jobs that are to be done, so machinery is installed. Mass production is driven by the need to keep food and production costs down, pushing corporations towards factory farming. Over the last years, the consumption of animal products has increased steeply, and factory farming has been introduced to compensate for this demand, pushing out smaller farms that practice ethical and responsible stewardship to make room for industrial operations. While factory farming may seem like the best decision economically, is it really the best decision for the world? It is not only the animals that suffer from these operations. The runoff and pollution is extremely detrimental and harmful to the environment of the surrounding areas and the world, contributing to greenhouse gas emissions and other global warming triggers, as well as contaminating water supplies, the ground and air around. Factory farming is more harmful to the environment than the public can see. Due to these animals being confined in such unsanitary and intensive areas, it creates a breeding ground for foodborne diseases. An example of this is in battery hens. Salmonella can infect the ovaries of the hens and spread, which in turn means the hens could be laying out already infected eggs that are being packaged and shipped off to the consumers, proving great health risks to the public. As the animals are in such stressful and unpleasant environments, they will have pathogens and hormones naturally produced running through their bodies, not to mention the added hormones and drugs that are non-therapeutically administered to the animals. When you consume factory-farmed meat, you are not just consuming meat, you are consuming these animals' lives. As the benefits of factory farming are quite economical and profit production based, and the negative outcomes are more moral and ethical in concerns, it makes sense to appeal to the younger generations that will be attracted to the morality of other methods of producing animal products over the benefits of mass production. So we are targeting young people between the ages of 15 and 25, specifically those on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, Australia. Ideally, the Ethical Network will reach around Australia, but at this current moment, we are targeting the Sunshine Coast. Essentially, the aim of this intervention is to modify the current behavior of supporting and contributing to factory farms, whether it be due to ignorance or convenience. We would like to provide an ethical and sustainable alternative to supporting this industry. We are also aiming to benefit smaller run farms that produce ethical and organic animal products in order to encourage and sustain them into the future. Our plan is to create a network, specifically the Ethical Network, which will act as 1. A network for small, local, and organic farms to find businesses and customers to source their products to. 2. A network for local businesses around the Sunshine Coast area, most likely hospitality-based businesses, to network with each other and also to find small, local, and organic farms to source from. 3. Act as a directory via the website for businesses that source ethical, local, and organic ingredients to make it easier for the consumer to modify their behavior and choose businesses that are ethically mindful. And 4. To use as a social media tool. An example, using the name The Ethical Network as a hashtag or as its own media account. The recruitment of partners will be a process across the intervention. With confirmed businesses that are already sourced organically and ethically on the Sunshine Coast, we will be making a starting point there and utilize their connections, social media, and the public to create commercial partnerships with businesses across the coast. We are partnering with the Animal Welfare League as our official sponsor. So, we have 3 layers of product: core, actual, and augmented. At the core, the question is, in social marketing, what's in it for me? And I propose to you this. If not a sense of ethical and moral decency, a clear conscience and awareness of a very real issue, then the knowledge that the products that you, as a consumer, are consuming are free from harmful drugs and hormones that otherwise would be contained, the knowledge that your health is not in danger due to the unknown bacteria or foodborne diseases that may be present in intensely produced products, therefore lengthening and increasing your quality of life. By supporting the cruel shortening of animals' lives in these factory farms, you could be shortening your own life. Next, in terms of the actual product, our desired behavior of ceasing support to the legalized cruelty that is factory farming is to be achieved by, in turn, supporting local, organic, and ethically farmed products by utilizing businesses that source locally and ethically. This will create business for these businesses, which in turn creates business for their wholesalers and supports smaller farms and helps to sustain them, driving out the need for factory farming. This is also where we are branding our intervention. The Ethical Network, at the moment, is a product-level brand. With a short and easily remembered name, the Ethical Network has been created for the purpose of this intervention, but our aim is that this brand will fall under family branding in the future, to be used not only for this intervention, but for others that are similar in views and outcomes. In order to remove barriers that may stop our desired behavior from being achieved, we will be using the website as a directory to help consumers. Instead of consumers being unsure of where to find these sorts of businesses and ultimately giving up, the Ethical Network website will be in place to search for businesses in the area that source organically, eliminating the barrier of uncertainty. An app is also on the table to allow an easy and fast way to access the directory and use it as a business locator. So, for this particular change of behavior, a lot of the costs are considered to be non-monetary. Monetary costs may include the cost of organically sourced products, which, depending on where the consumer previously chose to order food, may be higher than it used to be. And although this is not always the case, it is a common misconception about eating organically. Non-monetary costs, that of which are classified under 4 categories, create barriers that block consumers from performing the desired behavior. Time and effort are big contributors within this social cause. The time and effort it takes to physically search for a new place to eat that sources organically and ethically, and travel there rather than defaulting to usual spots may deter customers from adopting this new behavior. The best way to overcome these barriers is by reducing the non-monetary costs for this behavior. By creating an app to complement the website, we are creating an easy and fast way for consumers to search for businesses within the Ethical Network that are in their area, reducing the time and effort spent. By targeting the Sunshine Coast, we are aiming to have an area that consumers will have easy access to businesses that are sourcing ethically and locally. This is in order to minimize time barriers and reduce accessibility barriers. Our goal is to have more and more businesses joining the Ethical Network and create profitable income for both these small businesses and the small farms in order to sustain them and deter from the support of factory farming. Through this intervention, we are hoping to expand slowly through Australia, which will create accessibility to a large target group. We will have physical locations advertising this brand, most likely in the existing businesses that are part of the Ethical Network. There will also be an online presence of the brand. For the promotion section of this intervention, we will discuss the message and messages that we would like to include in our intervention and use as a driving force to promote the behavior of supporting local, organic, and ethically sourced businesses, rather than mass-producing factory farms. First, we will discuss the message that we want to send to our target audience. We are using a moral and emotional appeal towards our message. Essentially, we want to display a message that ethical is cool, achievable, and rewarding. That's the main message. To deter the younger generation from shying away from small businesses that offer great quality products and come from an ethical and sustainable background, and shying away from being passionate about the environment and animals because it's lame, or the mentality of everybody else does it, so why should I change? We want the younger generation to embrace the changing world, embrace the knowledge that they have, and use it to change. We are building the future, generation by generation. Our message is to spread the word on the practices of factory farming and show there is an alternative that isn't cutting out animal products. To show that we can build a sustainable future that does not practice cruelty towards animals. To know that factory farming is not sustainable. To know the effects on the environment, the people and the animals. To no longer live in ignorance and embrace the journey of a sustainable and more ethical future. Restaurants, hospitality businesses, that join the network will act as our midstream messengers. They will spread the word through their circle, through their social media accounts, through advertisement in the shop, and through general word of mouth, as well as our partners, the Animal Welfare League, who will be supporting the message. To outline our creative strategy, I will be answering the questions shown on the slide. So, what are we really selling? Well, put simply, we are selling an end to animal cruelty through mass-producing factory farms. We are selling a sustainable future that benefits not only animals, but the environment, the economy, and us. We are the people of this world, and we are selling an ethical future. And second point, our target market is the younger generation, specifically 15 to 25-year-olds, both male and female. And as for what makes them different, well, generally speaking, younger generations are impressionable to change. They keep up with trends and are constantly seeking out new things. With this in mind, the idea is that it will be easier to change this age group's perception of what is known than it is to change someone of, say, 40 years old. And also by targeting this age gap, we are also targeting a generation, which helps to shape the future. For the third question, the answer is not as simple as this target being the only group with the problem. The problem is all around us. There are many people from all age groups contributing to that have no idea, so it is not just our target group's problem, but the world's, and lots do not realize what is going on. There is always competitive pressure, so of course we are facing it. We are facing the accessibility of fast food chains that offer up cheap animal products fast, large supermarkets that offer up cheap bulk meat, and well-known restaurants. Our most important benefits are the benefits to the animals, the benefits to the environment, and the benefits to the people. The environment will no longer suffer from the runoff and pollution of factory farming, and the people will not be at risk of disease and unhealthy meat consumption. We are also benefiting small businesses in increasing their profitable income, which in turn will be increasing the wholesalers' profitable income, framing a sustainable future. We want our target audience to essentially choose businesses that are part of the ethical network as a place to eat, hang out, and enjoy. By gathering our small hospitality businesses around the Sunshine Coast area, we hope to make it easy and accessible for our target market to find a place that suits them. With the directory accessible too, we believe that it will be easier for the target market to explore these options. We are aiming to create a thriving network between consumers and hospitality businesses. That means utilizing a platform that our target audience uses predominantly, social media. Through Instagram accounts to showcase pictures of products, people, and businesses, these accounts will be run by the businesses themselves. They will contain the Ethical Network logo in their bio, which will signify their part in the network, with the hashtag #TheEthicalNetwork being used to create a following and tag posts that will be viewed and associated with other business posts, encouraging the network. The Ethical Network will have its own Instagram account and will post pictures of every business that joins the network, and will be used as a tool to educate consumers on the benefits of choosing these businesses. Our target group are digital natives. They were born into a time where the digital age is flourishing and have no choice but to participate, and we'll be using this to our advantage. We've created a mock-up of a website that will be used as a directory for our businesses that are under an ethical network. And you will see that on the screen now. One of our first steps of evaluation is to identify whether the idea of a whole network for businesses to participate in is something that would be taken on board by our businesses. It's all well and good to state that we would be creating a platform for businesses to utilize, create connections, and participate within, but do they actually want to? We will be creating a generic survey to send out to all sorts of hospitality businesses on the Sunshine Coast. The survey will consist of questions regarding knowledge of factory farming practices, knowledge of where to buy locally and ethically grown animal products, and finally conclude with questions regarding the opportunity to join a group trying to make a difference in the world. Another step of evaluation may be to decide which social media platform will be the best for this intervention and its brand. Our first choice is Instagram, as the focus on pictures attracts the younger generation rather than blocks of text, but we still need to consider other alternatives such as Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. We will conduct research on what the generation of 15 to 25-year-olds are using and why they are using the platform. This will help us to decide whether using Instagram is the best option, or would it be beneficial to consider alternatives. Lastly, it would be in good mind to consider whether businesses are actually capable of making the change to sourcing locally and organically. Are they a small business with not a lot of money? Do they have the means to transport the material they are buying? What are the limits that these small businesses are facing? This may be considered into the existing survey regarding the first step of evaluation. All hospitality businesses on the Sunshine Coast will receive this. When considering the ethical consequences of our social issue and intervention, fear tactics were consciously avoided so as not to induce anxiety into those prone and to not scar the target audience due to the potentially graphic nature of the cause. We use positive, optimistic tactics that encourage the target rather than scaring them. To keep with ethical principles, we are using an honest approach to the information we are putting out. We are displaying openness to the individual's choice and are respectful to our target market. The surveys that will be admitted to the hospitality businesses on the Sunshine Coast will disclose full details as to the research that is being conducted and what it will be used for. The surveys will also outline the intervention proposal with a box for businesses to express potential interest. We will gain consent to every participant in the research. A possible unintended consequence of this intervention may be directed towards businesses on the Sunshine Coast. Hospitality businesses that do not wish to participate in the intervention or are not able to participate may feel excluded, and this may cause tensions between close businesses on the coast. A version of this may be a consumer purposely attacking businesses that are not participating, shaming them, or other methods. Hopefully, to deter this from happening, we will provide an opportunity for all businesses to join the ethical network and also help provide a business plan for these businesses in order to help them source locally, ethically, and organically. Another unintended consequence may be a small business going out of business due to lack of profitable income. Another unintended consequence may be the underestimating of basic values, assuming that because the younger generation are open to trends and impressionable, this means that they will change their basic values that they have lived with their whole lives, when really it may take much longer to fully change this behavior, spanning many interventions. In conclusion, this intervention aims to modify the behavior of young males and females aged 15 to 25, to support local businesses that are sourcing ethically, locally, and organically, and to encourage a sustainable future through smaller and ethically run farms for a better environment, better health, and a better peace of mind.